Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. Today is the Monday after Week 4 in the NFL. We're doing a regular call right now with SBR contributor Dave Golikov, where we get his thoughts on what he learned watching the games yesterday that might indicate betting value going forward. Dave Golikov, thanks for being with us.
Hey, Pete, how are you?
All right, I'm good. All right, first thing that comes to mind, what did we learn from Week 4? Well, we learned that now the Giants are awesome, but that Oakland still sucks, and not just a little, they suck really bad. Are those two things that you think we should have learned from Week 4?
Well, I wouldn't say the Giants are awesome, but I would agree that Oakland is awful. I think the Raiders are, they're the candidate this year to go 0-16. We'll be talking about them for a while until they have a shot to win a game. They are bad. The Giants, they've looked good for 2 straight weeks, but remember the competition, and I think that, they're headed in the right direction now, and I think they'll be better as the season goes along, but I wouldn't say they're great by any stretch of the imagination.
Dave, I do a call every week with the headlines manager at DSI Sportsbook. He tells me where the sharp action has come in. Supposedly, Oakland was a sharp side last week. I bet Oakland myself. I was like, this is awesome. I'm on the right side. The sharps are on the right side. We're all on Oakland. We're going to win. It was a terrible bet.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's not much to do with the Raiders in that situation. You're betting the Raiders thinking that the Dolphins are the team that's going to pack it in. We heard all week about issues between Joe Philbin possibly benching Ryan Tannehill. There's no Sean Moreno. The Dolphins looked horrible for a couple weeks, and then all of a sudden they come out and roll the Raiders. So I think the Dolphins are bad, but the Raiders are a whole other level of bad, pretty much as they've been over the last couple of years. And we're going to need more points before taking them.
All right, and then maybe did we learn that Philly's having some major problems on the offensive line? They can't establish a running game, and that maybe Philly's going to be overvalued in the upcoming weeks?
Yeah, and this is a note that I really want to point out with the Eagles. Not only in the short term, but long term, Chip Kelly does not believe that time of possession matters in the NFL. He never believed this in college, doesn't believe it in the NFL. And I think when you have issues like this, or when you have a defense that is suspect, or when you go on the road and you're getting pounded on the ground by a good quality physical opponent, you need your offense to just get a few first downs, move the chains, and keep your team in the game. Give your defense a chance to rest. Chip Kelly does not believe in that theory, and the Eagles cannot go far in the playoffs going this way. As far as the next few weeks, I think this was a tough situation for them. The 49ers really needed the win. I haven't really changed my opinion on the Eagles in the short term.
All right, what else would you like to share with us that you learned from Week 4 in the NFL, Dave Golikov?
Well, just general observation. I mean, is there a more unpredictable team right now than the Pittsburgh Steelers? Let's go through their season so far.
Yes.
What were they? 7-point favorite versus Cleveland in Week 1. Looked amazing in the first half, and then never had a chance to cover that spread by the end of the game. Then Week 2, they go to Baltimore. They play 3-point games with Baltimore. I mean, how many times have we talked about their games with the Ravens being decided by 3 or less? Getting 3, and they get blown out in that game. So you figure the Steelers are going to have a tough time in Carolina the next week. They go and they roll Carolina, and then they come home and lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If there's a more unpredictable team in the league right now, I don't know who it is.
Well, I don't know. I was on Pittsburgh at Carolina, and I was definitely on Tampa Bay last week, but that's because I'm expecting the sort of the things that you're talking about here. Yes, Pittsburgh is a team that they do have potential. They have a suspect defense, and I think this week I bet them on the over. Who are they playing? Who's their game again this week? I can't remember.
They're playing Jacksonville.
That's right. I bet the over. What do you think about that?
Well, I think Jacksonville is a decent overplay because their defense stinks, and Blake Bortles can actually move the football. Yeah. So I think you're going to get at least 14 points from them, and that should be enough to get you over.
Is there anything else that you think is notable that you've learned from Week 4?
Yeah, I think it's worth noting that the NFC South is just a really bad division overall. I mean, look at the teams here. Some people thought Atlanta is going to bounce back and sort of show their form when they were a 13-win team 2 years ago. They just lost in Minnesota to a rookie quarterback. That did not look good. Their defense is horrible. Tampa Bay, I mean, the Bucs are coming off a good win, but they're 1-3. A lot of people thought they'd bounce back, have not looked like that team that is capable of doing that. Carolina has really crap the bed the last couple weeks. Some people thought after week 1 or 2 that this is a stout team, is going to win the division again. And then the Saints, Pete, we talked about the Saints. 1-3 so far, looked absolutely horrible in 3 road games. And I want to get your opinion. I mentioned to you that this team is going to need home field advantage if they're to do any damage in the playoffs. They're now sitting at 1-3. A, do you think they even make the playoffs at this point? And B, how do they go anywhere in the postseason having to win at least 1 or 2 road games?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I don't really think in those terms. I just think in terms of betting value. But yeah, I'm definitely in general looking to fade the Saints. I mean, even you look at their last game where they covered against Minnesota 2 weeks ago at home. That was their last game at home. That's where they usually, have a big offense and they get easy covers and big wins. And that one they just barely got the cover. 20-9 was not the kind of typical Saints game you expect for them when they're, a big double-digit favorite like that. So yeah, I'm definitely looking to fade the Saints in general going forward. Obviously, it's going to depend on the line and the situations. Carolina, though, I don't have a very good read on. I was expecting them. I had them against Baltimore this past week, and of course, they got blown out. That was a terrible pick. We had some people on our YouTube channel who were saying that Baltimore was going to win by 20, and those people were completely right. That's 2 straight games where Carolina has given up close to 40 points, and their offense hasn't gotten much done. What's your take on Carolina going forward? Do you think that they're going to continue to be a good team to bet against, or do you think they're going to bounce back?
I think situational spots with the Panthers, at home, small favorite, I think makes sense. Mm-hmm. But, in general, I think I would like to add that Cam Newton and Colin Kaepernick, I have in the same category. I mean, mm-hmm. Cam Newton, he just can't. I know he doesn't have a lot of help. Granted, I get it. But these guys just can't seem to elevate the players around them. There's some quarterbacks that, Peyton Manning, of course, but you put Manning on a team and guys like Emmanuel Sanders all of a sudden look like Pro Bowlers. Cam Newton and Kaepernick don't have that power. And that's an issue for the Panthers. You're talking about where would you bet them right now on the road other than maybe Jacksonville or Oakland where you feel pretty confident? I mean, they can't run the ball. Cam can't get anything done in the passing game. So they're relying on their defense. If the defense gives up 14 or more, they're done. So I think that's the issue with the Panthers right now.
All right, so maybe it sounds like you're going to be looking to bet against Carolina in upcoming weeks. You think they might continue to be overvalued?
Off the top of my head, I mean, this week they're at home to Chicago, small favorite. I think this is a decent spot to take them. Cutler and his mistakes probably won't do so well against the Panthers D, and also that Bears defense is probably going to make the Panthers look good, but. Losing like that at home to the Steelers, I think they're going to play much better after getting embarrassed for a couple weeks. Show up defensively. I think that defense can handle a team like the Chicago Bears a lot better and get the job done this week.
All right, so you're not a believer in Cam Newton, but maybe this game against the Bears is going to be similar to the Niners game last week against Philly. It was just a good spot for them at home to have like a rebound game, relatively small home favorite, and they did wind up being the right side.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're fading things all over the place here, but I'm fading the Bears more than I'm fading the Panthers. Their Chicago team going on the road after a divisional game. Cutler again with the mistakes. I don't trust them on the road, especially with that weak defense. I think the Panthers should be able to run the ball or move the ball enough, and their defense should be able to force a couple turnovers and get the win here.
All right, so the takeaway is you don't trust Cam Newton at all, but you do trust him enough to pull out a win this week against the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. That works.
All right. Thanks so much, Dave Golikop, for your thoughts. We'll talk to you again next Monday.
The SBR Network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.